Hey YouTube, it's me, Annabeth Chase123. Now, my situation is a wee bit confusing because there was a video I meant to put on this channel, but I had accidentally went on the wrong channel, and I guess I don't know how YouTube works anymore because I can't delete that video. So, I was starting a review channel, however I can't use it anymore because I posted the wrong video on it. Anyway, long story short, before I get into this review, basically, I can't do AMVs anymore because of some stupid Bill C-13 law that was passed here. The idea that was proposed was anti-bullying. However, Stephen Harper has manipulated it, so he now has the right to spy on us and what we do. And so his eye is on everyone's computer in Canada, and if we download anything, like anything at all, particularly anime or TV shows, we get hit with a $5,000 fine. So I'm really sorry, YouTube, but that's a risk I can't take. However, I'm still going to keep using this channel to review and to I was actually thinking of doing some cosplay tutorials on this thing as well. Okay, so with that annoyance out of the way, Five Nights at Freddy's. Holy shit. That game, not just that game, the series is just, holy fuck. Just, unicorns are flying and shitting rainbows everywhere and just, oh, I love that game. I don't love it because of the jump scares or the animatronics that look like nightmare fuel, but I love the backstory. That's just the most important element of any game for me. Not the gameplay, not the graphics, just the background story. It kind of separates the difference for me of a game I play like once in a while to a game I play almost every day. And Five Nights at Freddy's, that series nailed the backstory. Okay. What makes that backstory even better is that you actually have to look for it. Like, it can't be seen easily. However, if you look very closely at certain posters in the first game, you will see them change to things like 5 children go missing, and how a previous version of the restaurant was shut down due to the animatronics smelling like corpses and them being described like actual corpses. Even the phone guy gives little pieces of information about the story, as he tells you about the bite of 87, which is pretty self-explanatory. In the second game, they release more of the backstory through these little death mini-games that sometimes appear when you die. Now, I only played the game once, and I didn't get a death mini-game backstory. However, there have been many people who have, and holy shit, the story it tells. Here is my own personal theory. This is no way legit. This is just what I've pieced together with a little help from the game theorists. So please don't flame me saying I stole their idea. No, I do agree with their idea. I just have a few things to add, and I'm going to put their video in the description so you can watch it. Okay, so the story of Five Nights at Freddy's starts in Fred Bear's Diner. It's just a small little family-owned joint. And one day, this kid was having a birthday party. And while Freddy was serving cake to him and his friends, they kind of forgot about one lost crying child outside the door. However, somebody didn't. Some guy drove up in a purple van, and in the mini games, this guy is completely purple. I'm shit you not. And kills the child. Now, that child turned out to be what is infamously known as the mannequin in Five Nights 2. Why? Well, why do I believe that? Well, as the game theorists so brilliantly pointed out, is that if you look closely at the child, it looks a lot like the mannequin, down to the tear stains on its cheeks. And then, if that's not evidence enough, you get the mannequin jump scare right at the end of that minigame, right as you witness the child's death. Okay, so because a child died in Fredbear's Diner, business got really bad for them, so they had to sell out to Fazbear Entertainment and became Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where they got 5 more animatronics. Well, no wait, not 5 more, 4 more. Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, Foxy the Fox, and the Golden Freddy, which was used for special occasions. Now in this one, this is where the 5 children went missing. The Purple Man struck again, and he put on the suit and lured 5 kids into the back, killed them, and stuffed their bodies, and, well, not exactly stuffed their bodies, he probably dismantled their bodies so that they were beyond recognition from normal animatronic parts and stuffed them in the animatronic suits. However, this was probably bad on the Purple Man's part, because the mannequin came in and fused the souls of the 5 children with the 5 mannequins. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, the 4 of the 5 mannequins. And, okay, let me restart that. 5 kids, 5 mannequins. However, the Golden Freddy is a big enigma. So, it's my personal belief that the Golden Freddy is actually a Dybbuk. For those who don't know what a Dybbuk is, it's a Jewish demon that lives in a box. Now, if a kid had that box on him and the box was broken, the demon would have taken the opportunity to possess the Golden Freddy. This would explain the Golden Freddy's behavior and how it can ignore doors and how every time you look at it, it drives you insane, and how the thing crashes your game. Okay, now with that out of the way, however, another reason this was a bad idea for the Purple Man is the rotting smell. Because the animatronics smelled really bad, and they were like corpses, the place got shut down, and Frank Fazbear's had to reopen somewhere else. Now everything was fine there until 5 more kids were murdered. And they possessed the suits of the new or toy animatronics. And there was also the bite of 87. Just so we're clear, the killer throughout this entire story is still the Purple Man, and I really hope you're staying with me because this is a long-ass timeline. Okay, just to recap, first diner, 1 kid killed, becomes the mannequin. Second diner, 5 kids, become the 5 mannequins in the first one. Third diner, again, 5 kids die and possess the mannequins there. And that was also the bite of 87, thanks to the new Freddy. Why do I think it's the new Freddy? Because if you look in Five Nights 2... Oh, crap, before starting this room, I probably should touch whether or not Five Nights at Freddy 2 is a sequel or a prequel, which I will get to. I'm just going to outline the story and insert my theories later. Okay. And then we come to the final Five Nights at Freddy Fazbear's. basically a smaller place. Nothing really bad happens there, except, well, I guess Mike Schmidt either died or he went mental because after that the place got shut down for 30 years and turned into the Fazbear Horror attraction. Okay, with the backstory out of the way, here are a few of my theories. First off, the bite of 87. Who did it, and who was the poor ass who got his head bitten off? Well, not bitten off, just the frontal lobe. Okay, before we touch into that, is Five Nights at Freddy 2 a sequel or a prequel? That's very important. I think it's beyond a doubt that game is a prequel, and that it comes before the first one in the timeline sense. Why? Well, in the first game, I have several parts of evidence, my first part of evidence is in the first game, the phone guy tells you of the bite of 87. Now, if you look at your check at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it is dated 1987, which is considered when the bite happened. Okay, other evidence? Well, spoiler alert, phone guy dies in the first game, so he kinda can't be in the fourth game. So yeah, that's kind of that. And what else? And also, behind your check, there's a newspaper article saying that that Freddy Fazbear's has to shut down and move to a smaller location with a smaller budget. The map at Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is significantly smaller than the map at Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and the lower budget would explain why the building has limited power. I rest my case on that. Now, with that out of the way, the bite of 87. Who did it, and who was the victim? Well, I'm going to leave the who's the victim I'm going to leave that alone for a while, because that also ties into another theory. However, who did it had to have been Freddy. Why, you ask? Well, if you look closely at the map of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there is no Pirate's Cove. So even though Foxy is the one who says out of order, there is no way anyone in broad daylight could have gotten near Foxy, because he was all the way in parts and services, and this was not a secluded event. Like, millions of people were there, and unless Freddy Fazbear is the kind of joint that lets people, like, go in the back and play with the animatronics, the broken ones, yeah, it couldn't have been Foxy. So, my belief is that it was Freddy. Another part of evidence I use to back up my belief is the fact that one of the rule signs says, "Don't get close to Freddy." Why would that say that if Foxy was the one behind the bite of 87? Also, you see the old animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but not in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Why? Because the company had to scrap them because they were considered malfunctioning, when in reality the new Freddy was possessed, and they thought that he bit the person because he was malfunctioning because of the new facial recognition system. Okay, now the Purple Man, the killer. If you haven't heard this theory, take a seat right now, because you are going to fall on your ass when you hear this. But it's the phone guy. I know what you're thinking. Who are you to go around accusing the phone guy of being the killer? My evidence? Okay, this is really flimsy evidence. However, in one of the death mini games, when you're following the mannequin, you sometimes get stopped by the purple man. And he's wearing a badge, which a night guard would have, and he's holding a phone. Now, I didn't buy this theory at first because I thought, hey, hold up, they caught the guy who did it. It's really easy to frame someone, especially someone who was raving mad that the animatronics were trying to kill him. So I think the guy who got framed, the guy who they thought was the killer, is actually the guy you play as in Five Nights 2. Because yeah, if I worked in that pizza joint, I'd be raving just that that animatronics were trying to kill me. And if I was a murderer and I saw if I was the head night guard and I killed a whole bunch of kids and I saw one of my underlings ranting on about how the animatronics tried to kill me, I'd definitely say, oh yeah, you want your guy? He's over there. I saw him do it. I saw him put on the suit and go out there. Okay, my final theory before I touch Five Nights at Freddy. My theories about Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and what I think it's going to be like. The Golden Freddy. The mystery of mysteries. The thing that has us all scratching our heads wondering what the hell's going on. I think it's a Dybbuk. A Dybbuk is a Jewish demon that lives in a box. And we've already come to the conclusion that yes, the Golden Freddy is possessed. Yes, it's different. And yes, it's more powerful and probably more evil than the child souls. So, yeah, it's a Dybbuk because the fifth child could have easily had a Dybbuk box on them and not known what it is, and it could have been broken when the child was killed. Okay, with all that out of the way, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. If you have not seen the trailer, do yourself a favor and watch it. I'm also going to have that in the description because that thing is so epic. As in, holy shit. Unfortunately, it seems like we're not going to be seeing any of the animatronics we know and love to hate. But hey, Sumi, I actually really enjoy the animatronics. They each have their own personalities and their own dynamics, but no, they had to all be script. So they've replaced it with this thing called, well, nobody can really agree on it yet, on a name for it yet. Like I've heard Scrabble, Rotten. That was one I heard. However, what we can seem to agree on is that it's a golden Bonnie of some sort. Maybe a rotten version of Bonnie, I don't know. Now, my theory of the soul in the animatronic. I think it's the phone guy, the old killer. Because in the fourth night, because after Freddy Fazbear would get shut down and the final night guard killed, the souls of the children would have no other reason to haunt, so they would pass on, and hence why the other animatronics were broken down. However, the night guard, not your character, but the one before you, the phone guy, he does have a reason to be vengeful. Because in the fourth night, right before he dies, he tells you to look in the back room and, well, try to save him. However, I think it's safe to assume that your character doesn't do that. So, of course, he'd be pissed and trying to kill you. I mean, I would be too, just like, buddy, you had one job! One job! And now I'm dead because you were too incompetent to do it, you jackass! So yeah, I'm really excited for Five Nights 3, and I'm hoping I get all my Chica gear finished so I can do a cosplay tutorial on Chica in honor of that when it comes out. Now, for the gameplay. Five Nights at Freddy's 1 is kind of infamous because all you do is sit on your ass and watch cameras and close doors. However, it's more difficult and more exciting than it looks because holy shit, you do not know fear until you're sitting on your ass and your door is not closing, and right as you're thinking and right as your brain is going, oh shit, I am going to die, that magical clock just changes to 6 a.m. and you're like, yes! Yes, I survived! Yeah, that's what makes Five Nights at Freddy's 1 magical. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I played one round of it, and yes, it is a very enjoyable game. However, I would recommend mastering beating Five Nights at Freddy's 1 first so you get an idea of the basic gameplay. Also, pro tip, the music box that keeps the mannequin from ripping your face off is on cam 11. No other place has that. And when that thing is flashing, giving you a warning to look at the cameras, it means you had to wind up the music box before the psychotic clown jumps out at you. Yep, I think we all know how I died. Well, that, and mainly because I knew that I had to wind up the music box, but I could not find that blasted thing for the life of me. I thought it was just a thing that anywhere on the screen, on any camera, you could just rewind it, but no, you had to go to the exact camera at the exact time. Also, I might be saying this because I haven't mastered the gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 yet. However, I just find the whole put on the mask, do the flashlight thing just a bit too stressful for my taste. But as I said, it's still a great game. Oh, holy shit, this might be my longest video yet. Anyway, that's my theory. That is my theory and my opinion on Five Nights at Freddy's. Pros, great backstory, great jump scares, and great characters. Cons, they could make the backstory more obvious, and maybe if there was less to do in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 or a door or two, that would be better, because for us used to doors and only 8 cameras to watch, like the 20 is like, holy shit, what am I even doing? But yeah, if you get the chance, you should definitely play it. It definitely has more pros and cons. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Live long and prosper.